Hello, everyone. This is Lexicon coming at you with another budget commander list. I apologize for the last couple days. I haven't been able to do a deck tech because I've been kind of under the weather, trying to be 100% by tomorrow and, return to work. So let's get into the commander. We're going to be playing Is It Commander. Um, and our commander is Joran and Rune Diver. It is a 3 mana spell with a power and toughness of 2 and 3. That it says whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you draw a card. So this is a very cool card. So since we're going to be at some point casting at least 2 spells a turn, we will be drawing a card each time we do that. And also, for whatever reason, if we do cast 2 cards on our opponent's turn, we will also draw a card. So let's get into the creature package. We're playing Archmage Emeritus, a 4 mana spell that has Magecraft. So whenever we cast or copy an instant or sorcery, we may draw a card. Then Balmor, because whenever we cast our instant or sorcery, all of our creatures get +1/+0 and trample until the end of the turn. We play Baral because whenever we cast our first or instant or sorcery spell, we may cast another spell with mana value less that shares a card type with it without paying its mana cost. And if we don't do that, we will create a 2/1 red Monkey Pirate creature token. It gains haste until the end of the turn. Crackling Drake, because his power and toughness is equal, well, not his toughness, his power is equal to the number of instants and sorceries you own in your graveyard and in exile. And then when it ETBs, you draw a card. Then Docent of Perfection, a 5 mana spell that's a flyer that whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you create a 1/1 blue human wizard creature token onto the battlefield. And then if you control 3 or more wizards, you may transform it. Then it becomes this. Wizards you control get +2/+1 and have flying. And also, again, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you can create a 1/1 blue human wizard. Then Dragon Rage Channeler, whenever we cast a non-creature spell, we surveil. So we can look at the top card of our library. You may put that card into your graveyard. And then as long as there are 4 more different card types in your graveyard, it gives +2/+2 and flying and attacks each combat if able. Electrostatic Field, so whenever we cast an instant or sorcery, we deal 1 damage to each opponent. Electrostatic Infantry, just to get bigger every time we cast an instant or sorcery. Enigma Drake, power and toughness equal to number of sorceries in your graveyard. Erebor Flamesmith, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you deal 1 damage to each opponent. Fairy Mastermind allows us to draw cards. Whenever our opponent draws their second card each turn, you draw a card. Or you can force each player to draw a card for 4. Firebrand Archer, because whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Goblin Electromancer, to make our instants or sorceries cost 1 less. Gutter Snipe deals 2 damage to each opponent whenever you cast instant or sorcery. Harmonic Prodigy, because whenever ability of a shaman or wizard you control triggers, it triggers additional time. Then Haughty Djinn, because its power is equal to the number of instants or sorceries in our graveyard, and it also makes our instants or sorceries cost 1 less to cast. Ironcrag Pyromancer, whenever you draw a second card, 3 damage to any target. Kessig Flamebrigger, 1 damage to each opponent whenever you cast a non-creature spell. Murmuring Mystic, to create 1/1 blue, put an Ember counter on it. And then whenever you cast instant sword, put a number of Ember counters on it equal to the amount of mana spent to cast it. Then, if it has 7 or more Ember counters on it, remove them. And then it becomes this. It becomes a 4/4 flyer that whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, we deal 2 damage to any target. Spellheart Chimera, flying and trample, power equal to number of instant and sorceries. Sprite Dragon, because it's a very good 2 mana flying haster that whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you put a 1/1 counter on it. Stormkin Artist gets +1/+0 for each artifact. And then whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, create a treasure. Talran, to generate 2/2 blue Drake creature tokens with flying. Thermal Alchemist, to tap to deal 1 damage to each opponent. And then whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you untap it. Third Path Iconoclast to cast. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you create a 1/1 soldier artifact creature token. Thrain. If a red source will deal damage to an opponent, it deals that much plus an additional 2. Wavebreak Hippocamp. Whenever you cast your first spell during your opponent's turn, you draw a card. And then finally, Young Pyromancer. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you put a 1/1 red elemental creature token onto the battlefield. Then for sorceries, Faithless Looting to draw 2, then discard 2. You can flashback for 3. Ponder to look at the top 3 cards of our library, put them back in any order. You may shuffle, then draw. Preordained to scry 2, then draw. And then Serum Visions to draw a card, then scry 2. For instance, we're playing Upbraid to deal 3 damage to a target creature or destroy target artifact. Brainstorm to look at the top 3. Draw 3, put 2 on the top of your library in the order. Consider, look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into graveyard, and then you can draw a card. Counterspell to counter a spell. Flame of Anor to either choose 1 or 2 if you control a wizard. So we can either draw 2, destroy a target artifact, or deal 5 damage to target creature. Frantic Search to draw 2, then discard 2 cards, and then untap 3 lands. Impulse let us look at the top 4 cards of our library. Put 1 into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Izzet Charm to counter target non-creature spell unless its opponent pays 2. Or we can deal 2 damage to our creature, or we can draw 2 cards and start 2. Lightning Bolt, 3 damage to any target. Negate counter target non-creature spell. Opt to scry and draw a card. Prismari's Command to either deal 2 damage to any target, or draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards, create a treasure token, or destroy target artifact. So we can choose 2. Quicken, because it allows us to draw, and the next sorcery you cast is turn to be cast as though if it had flash. Rewind to counter target spell and then untap to 4 lands. Throw a possibility to discard a card to draw 2, and then finally unwind to counter target non-creature spell, then untap 3 lands. For artifacts, we're playing Arcane Signet, Commander's Fear, Izzet Signet, Lightning Greaves, Midnight Clock, Mind Splice Apparatus, Soul Ring, Swift Boots, and Talisman of Creativity. For enchantments, we're going to be playing Arcane Bombardment, which is going to be putting in work for us because whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery on each turn, you can exile an instant or sorcery at random from your graveyard, then copy each exiled card with Arcane Bombardment, and you may cast any number of the copies without paying their mana cost. Then Fiery Inscription, when the ETBs, the ring tempts you, and then whenever you cast instant or sorcery, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Then Fireman's Research. Whenever you cast instant or sorcery, you put a charge counter on it. Then you can remove 2 charge counters to draw a card, or you can remove 5 charge counters to deal 5 damage to any target. Improbable Alliance. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. Then for 5 mana, you may draw a card, then discard a card. Ominous Seas. Whenever you draw a card, you put a foreshadow counter on it, and then you can remove 8 foreshadow counters from it to create an 8/8 Kraken, or you can cycle this away for 2, and then Propaganda just to slow down our opponents and force them to pay 2 for each creature that's attacking you. For land base, it's pretty simple. I'm not going to go over any of these cards because you should know what these do, and if you don't, just come to the Mox field and hover over the lands and see what they do. So that is the deck tech. We curve out at 2 mana. 58% of our symbols are blue and 52% are red. And this deck is going to cost you around $150. So if you do like this deck and this style of content, please leave a subscribe on YouTube. It will be uploaded to YouTube shortly with all my social media links. And I hope you have a good day and take care.